What does this mean for us? Perhaps the chronicler, lacking precise knowledge, borrowed from epic tradition to lend grandeur to the ruler's passing, or perhaps life itself unfolded like a northern saga. Yet the symbolism runs deeper than any text. Oleg bore the epithet, the Prophet, one who knows, one close to sacred mysteries. Yet he sought to outwit the gods, placing calculation above fate. And the serpent, an ancient symbol of chthonic forces, struck him down for his pride. He did not fall in battle. He was not slain by the sword. He died the moment he believed himself invulnerable. Year 912, Kiev. Funeral pyres rise above the Dnieper. The age of Oleg the Prophet has ended. The chronicle says, all the people wept for him with great lamentation. Behind these words lies not mere convention, but real fear. The people were bidding farewell not just to a ruler, but to a guarantor of stability. Now Igor steps forward. Look closely at him. He's already over 30. His entire life has been spent in a golden cage, overshadowed by the towering figure of his guardian. For 30 decades he bore the title Son of Rurik, while real power and the treasury remained in the regent's hands. Now he stands alone before an empire he did not build. Historians often call Oleg a gatherer of lands, but this is too mild. He was an architect of a system. Consider his legacy. Logistics. The route from the Varangians to the Greeks functions seamlessly. Garrisons in Smolensk, Lubech, and Kiev secure the trade artery. Economy. The system of tribute, polludia, is established. Each winter the prince collects dues according to custom, not brute force. Diplomacy. In Constantinople hangs a shield, but not only. A binding legal treaty. Rus merchants reside in the monastery of St. Mamas, receive provisions, and trade duty-free. Oleg achieved the improbable. A Varangian outsider without Rurik's blood created the state we know as the realm of the Rurikids. A paradox of history. The dynasty took its name from the founder, but its power from a manager. Igor inherits at the peak a full treasury, calm borders, tribute from Byzantium. It would seem enough to maintain the perfect machine. But therein lies the trap. Igor is not Oleg. He lacks the prophetic aura, the uncanny fortune that allowed cities to fall without battle. He lacks the cunning of a diplomat, but within him burns a hunger for glory long suppressed. He seeks to prove himself, to win his own war, to hang his own shield upon the gates of Constantinople. Yet the old guard watch him with doubt. They remember the triumph of 907. Can the eternal heir repeat it? Igor does not yet know that his attempt to imitate Oleg will end in disaster. His war with Byzantium will turn into a nightmare of Greek fire. And more importantly, will he preserve the fragile social order built by his guardian? Or will its violation lead him to a tragic end in the forests of the Drevlins? The road from the icy winds of Ladoga to the sunlit Bosporus has been traveled. Rurik's ghost found flesh in Oleg's deeds. Cunning laid the foundation of statehood. The word of the diplomat struck sharper than the sword. The shield upon the gates of Constantinople stands as the triumph of this age, the moment when northern Rus declared itself to the world. Oleg the Prophet passes into eternity undefeated, leaving behind not merely cities, but an empire. But time is implacable. Power has passed to Igor. Soon you'll see how greed shatters even the strongest alliances. You'll see the Dnieper turned into a river of fire, devouring the Rus fleet, and how a widow, avenging her husband's brutal death, burns a city to ashes to lay the first foundations of Rus law. From Oleg the Builder to Igor the Destroyer, from brute force to the iron will of Princess Olga, the saga of the Rurikids continues. Subscribe to witness how personal vengeance becomes law.
No sooner do the rulers step aboard than the trap is sprung. Warriors, hidden beneath coarse mats, bare their steel in an instant. Askald and Deer are acrudged, yet Oleg delays the command. He seeks not merely the corpses of foes, but a spectacle, one that shall make his seizure of power rightful in the eyes of the host. Oleg lifts the young Igor in his arms. In the hush, the sentence is spoken, as the chronicler hath set it down. Ye are no princes, nor of princely blood, but I am of princely blood, and this is the son of Rurik. In these words lies the key to the age. Oleg accuses them not of tyranny. Nay, the blow falls upon the deepest wound, the right of blood. In those early medieval days, power sprang not from deeds, but from birth. To him, Askald and Deer were but boyars who had forgotten their place. The swords fall. Their bodies lie upon the sands of the Dnieper. The coup is done. Kiev, the mother of Rus cities, is taken without a single arrow loosed. As the chronicle tells, the whole deed took less than an hour, a grim triumph of the 9th century's special host, cruel, cunning, yet utterly sure. Oleg enters the city. Now in his grasp lies the key stronghold of Eastern Europe. He hath bound the fur-rich north to the south, land of grain and gateway to the civilized world. And the famed words are spoken, behold, this shall be the mother of Rus cities. Behind the fair phrase stands a sterner truth. Oleg did not merely seize a fortress, he moved the seat of power and laid the first stones of an empire. Yet his ambition reached beyond the Slavic forests. Southward he gazed, where the Dnieper flows into the endless sea, and there he saw his next prey, a prize before which even the greatest realm of the world would tremble. Oleg had gained men and means. Now Rus must win recognition, the kind that forces all neighbors to treat it as equal. And such honor in those days could be granted in but one place, Constantinople. Thus began the march upon Tsargrad. Oleg brought not a rabble of plunderers, but a full host. The chronicle speaks of 2,000 ships. Even were that number lessened tenfold, the Byzantines beheld an armada that blotted out the horizon. Constantinople stood the mightiest fortress of the world. Its engineers had long perfected its defenses. They stretched the great chain across the Golden Horn, sealing the harbor, while stones and Greek fire rained upon the foe. Emperor Leo the Wise held no doubt the northerners would ravage the outskirts and withdraw like others had done. But Oleg broke the very pattern of war, and Oleg commanded his men to make wheels and set the ships upon them. Whether this was cunning craft or swift portage, none can say for certain. yet the sight was enough. Ships moved upon the land itself, their sails catching the wind. To those upon the walls it was a living nightmare. The city that had withstood Arabs and Avars bent before the boldness of the north. The defeated sent forth food and drink, but Oleg refused the cup. The wine was poisoned. Such foresight sealed his name, the Prophet. The emperors understood. This was no foe to be undone by trickery. He must be met as an equal. And in the end, Oleg set his shield upon the gates of Tsargrad. Not merely a boast, but a sign of dominion and protection. Ye are under my hand. I guard you, and ye shall pay. Thus was a new order forged. 2nd day of September, 911, Constantinople. The clash of arms had faded, yet the truest victory was writ not by sword, but by the scribe's hand. Oleg knew gold taken by force soon slips away. What he needed was law. Thus was born the Rus Byzantine Treaty, the first written bond of Rus. The chronicler records the names of its envoys. We are of the Rus kindred, Karl, Ingeld, Farlaf, and others beside. Hear these names, Scandinavian all, not one Slavic among them, yet a great change is wrought. They cast aside the name of Varangian and declare themselves as one people, Rus. Thus began the forging of a new nation. The terms were without equal. Rus merchants were granted trade without tribute. They were fed and housed for half a year in Constantinople, and their standing among nations was set down in law.